Welcome to the first episode of the Teach in Thailand podcast, where we discuss tips, tricks, and moving out here to Thailand. For our first episode, we're joined today by Nick, our director here at Sine. So, Nick, can you tell us a little bit about Sine, kind of how it came about and how it all started?
Well, folks, we'll have to go back to 2011. We took over Sine. And in 2011, originally, Sine was a teaching agency. So they just hired teachers and placed them into schools. When we took it over, we had a look at it, and I thought that was maybe not a great equation. We didn't offer a lot of added value for the teachers, not a lot of added value for the schools. So what we wanted to do was find a way we could support the teachers a little bit better, maybe make teaching and learning a little bit more fun for the students. The way that worked out in the end is I sat down back in the day with our academic manager, who still works with us, Mr. Murray Clapp, and we talked about what we could do. And we decided it was all about trying to standardize lesson plans, lesson formats, which would make it a little bit easier for the kids to follow what the teachers were doing. It would mean the teachers would not have to spend hours doing lesson planning. And it would mean we'd use images and sound and video and try and engage the kids in the classroom. Now, you've got to remember, folks, back in the day, the average class size was about 50 to 55 students.
That's a lot.
Yeah, it's a lot. And often the teachers who will be taking those jobs, this would be their first teaching job.
Right.
So you're coming into a new job, you're coming into an environment, and usually in a government school, they would have no support at all. So if you had a whiteboard and a pen, you were lucky.
Right.
Yeah. So what we said, look, why don't we set it up where we will ask the school for 2 or 3 or 4 classrooms? We build those classrooms out with multimedia. And then we have all our lessons run through PowerPoint with lesson plans for the teachers, and we'll see if that is going to be effective.
Okay, so in that you kind of said, Sine started as a teaching agency, right? So Sine is no longer considered a teaching agency. What sets Sine apart from the other agencies out there?
Yeah, I mean, I don't mind if people call us a teaching agency. For me, the difference is we don't just send teachers to school.
Okay.
We won't just send teachers to school.
No.
As I said before, for us to be involved in it, we have to be trying to add a little bit of value on both sides of the equation. So we won't do that. We make sure that the teachers are fully supported. Now, you know as much as me about this now, Fox. That means from the minute we interview the teachers, and we have those teachers come on board, then we're starting with them on a journey into the classroom. When they get to Thailand, that's going to be about face-to-face training. It's going to be about preparing them so they feel confident when they go into classroom, journey into the classroom. And then from that point forward, working with them through the time we sign. I mean, the reason we have good teacher retention, the reason we have, on the whole, very good feedback is we do try and support our teachers the best we can.
Yeah, I think, and that support kind of looks different in a lot of different ways. And obviously, some people don't need lots of support. Other people need quite a lot of support because it is a huge move coming out to a new country, right? So what kind of support is on offer for Sine teachers from the very beginning, from the moment that they apply?
Well, I mean, the world has changed. When I first came to Thailand a very, very long time ago, there was no internet. That's how long ago it was. So I had no idea what Thailand was like. A lot of people nowadays, they want a little bit more. There's so much information out there, so much information on the internet. Some of it's great, some of it maybe isn't so great. So part of our job is to make sure we're giving good information to potential teachers so they can make a good decision, whether this is something they want to be doing. So we try and be as honest and open as possible. So from the recruitment process, from interviewing, we talk about the reality of teaching. We're going to share information from the very beginning about visas, about salaries, about requirements, expectations. So teachers shouldn't be surprised. Now, occasionally teachers will still be surprised, but overall, most teachers will feel pretty confident by the time they get into the country.
Yeah, definitely. I think that was something that I really appreciated when I joined Sine, was how much information Sine shares. Like, I was sort of similar to you. I wasn't given much information, really. It was kind of like, yeah, this is the name of the area you're going to, and that was pretty much it.
Right. You just there, you've hit on a pretty important point. You were told this is the area you're going to.
Yes.
That sounds like a pretty one-way conversation.
Very much so.
Yeah. I mean, as you know from working in recruitment before, that should be a conversation. We have to know what do they want?
Exactly.
And then we try and match that together. And beyond that, we will actually look at the teams within each school and maybe think, how can we plug teams together so they'll be happy and effective in that school.
Yeah, and really it's so nice that there's kind of so much more consideration than just filling a seat, right? It's okay, how is this team going to work together? What does this person want? It's very much individualized, and I think that's a real bonus with Sine, is that there's so much thought and consideration. I think a lot of that comes from the fact that all of our senior managers we're all expats and we're all ex-teachers, right? So we've actually been on the other side. We know what it's like to teach in a government school, to teach in a classroom with no AC, to have no teaching experience and all of those things. So it allows us to kind of support teachers from a place of understanding, right?
Yeah.
And I think I personally like to say that's another thing that sets Sine apart from a lot of the other agencies, is the level of care and support. Something that you just touched on was the challenges that teachers might face out here. Can you share a couple of those possible challenges or some things that might come up so that anyone who might be watching and considering moving out here to Thailand can perhaps have a think about
I
it?
think the first thing, Fox, is people have to think, do I want to be a teacher?
Right, start.
It might sound like an obvious thing, but actually people think, I want to go to Thailand, I want to
Yes.
spend time
Yes.
overseas, and look, I can be a teacher and do that. But being a teacher isn't just sort of a 9 to 5 kind of job. You actually have to embrace it a little bit. Now, when you come to Thailand, one big advantage is you will be received as a teacher. From the first day you walk into that school, the kids, the Thai teachers, they see you as a teacher, and you're starting on quite a high level. Now, it's up to you to maintain that level. Yeah, their perception is such as you're a
Yeah.
teacher, you deserve to have a certain level of respect. Once you've made the decision to be a teacher, there is a bit of responsibility that goes with that.
Yes.
It doesn't have to be onerous, and actually it can be really rewarding. And often you do find the people who embrace it are the people who have the best experiences.
Most definitely.
The first thing I would say, have a think. Do you want to
Yeah.
be a teacher? Yeah. And if the answer is yes, okay, then let's
Awesome.
move on
Yeah.
to the next steps.
At the end of the day, as much as you're here living in Thailand, you're actually going to work. So if you embrace it and enjoy that experience and make the most out of it, then you will have a whole enjoyable experience rather than just living kind of for the weekend. I think is very rewarding if you come here to teach, but it's a very important thing to consider. Any other sort of challenges that you think are important for people to think about?
Absolutely, folks. I think the other thing, and it's pretty obvious, when you move to a different country, you're going to experience a different culture.
Yes.
And again, if you expect everything to be like it is back home in the UK or the USA, then, well, why are you coming to Thailand?
Yeah.
Yeah. If you're able to come with a certain amount of humility and enjoy the things that are different and super positive, and understand where things may be slightly different and maybe less so positive, but just take that as a full package.
Yes.
Don't be overly judgmental. Learn where you can learn. Be flexible when you can be flexible. And, that will come through in different areas through the day. I mean, what I used to always say to people coming to Thailand, one day you'll turn up at 9 o'clock, well prepared for your class. You'll sit, and after 15 minutes, you'll have no students.
We've all been there.
Yeah.
We've all been there.
You go back down to the teacher's room, and you say, no students. And the coordinator, sorry, the director just announced this morning, no classes today. Now, if you're the kind of person who bangs the table and say, God damn, nobody tells me anything in this school, probably Thailand isn't for you.
Yes.
If you're the person who says, oh, okay, that's not the first time, I'm going to have a cup of coffee.
Yeah, a free period.
Yeah, so you can, if you think about yourself and how you handle sort of unexpected, how you handle maybe things not going quite the way you hope they're going to go, and if you can handle that, then you're going to be okay when you come to Thailand. But I just emphasize again, a little bit of humility goes a long way.
It's something that I used to speak to people when I was interviewing, when I was working recruitment a lot, was that it's really important to remember that this is another country. It's not your home country. Don't try and fit Thailand into the box of what you expect. Come and see Thailand for what it is. There are going to be ups and downs, the same with living absolutely anywhere. But one of my favorite things to say is that, okay, you might have a bad day, but then you need to remind yourself, I'm having a bad day in Thailand.
Yeah,
Right?
absolutely. Thailand is not for everybody.
No.
Yeah, I mean, I would say the vast majority of teachers who join us, over 90%, have a really good time. Many will stay multiple years, but some people, after 2 or 3 months, they find it a little bit too unpredictable, a little bit too chaotic.
That's the other thing, that if Thailand isn't for you, you come out here and perhaps it doesn't work out. Again, we're expats. We understand. We are absolutely empathetic to that and can very much understand. We have teachers who perhaps are struggling a little bit. They reach out to us. We try and have a chat, see what we can do. rather than just being like, oh, okay, then goodbye. You know,
Yeah.
it's again, it's that real sort of human level of support that I think is something that is really fantastic about being a sign teacher. And all right, so any tips or thoughts for someone who is out there right now considering coming out here to Thailand, be that with sign or be that in any other way, something that you'd like to kind of share with them?
I would say think about it carefully. Don't jump into it. Think about what your expectations are.
Hmm.
Then talk to our team, talk to other organizations, listen to what they say. Think what fits your expectations the best. Also think who seems to be the most honest with
Hmm.
you, who's telling you the benefits, but also the challenges. I think you can, usually you can make a pretty informed decision based on those conversations. And if you decide to come with Sign, we will give you the best chance of being successful and having a great experience, whether that's for 1 term, 1 year, 5 years, 10 years, or the
Yeah.
rest of your life.
We want to make sure that people have the experience they want. If that's just a gap year, then that's just a gap year. If that is an entire lifestyle change, then that's exactly what it is, and we can be there and support that.
When we started, we had 3 schools.
Mm.
Now we have, I think, 64 schools.
Yes.
So we've gone from 15 teachers to 300 teachers. So we've had to obviously build a management team, build a structure. And I think probably what I'm proudest of is that we're still able to do that.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Most
Even though we
definitely.
do have, a much, much bigger team, we've been able to add layers of support within that,
Mm.
where teachers do still feel that they are taken care of.
Having a team on the ground in our schools to support our teachers means that there is that kind of constant face of someone that you can go to support you, be it the coordinator, be it your head teacher even. It really feels like you are connected with the whole management team and with the other team of teachers too, right?
Yeah, exactly. A cliche fox, but as we like to say, you're never alone with Sign.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
You really aren't alone
And
here.
there is a support network there to help you. The other thing I would talk about a little bit is about the support in terms of lesson planning and materials. If you go off and do a CELTA or a TEFL course, you're often filled with a lot of creative energy and you're
Hmm.
really looking forward to doing your lesson plans. That's great. But when it's Sunday night and you've got 5 hours of teaching the next day and you've gone through all your favorite lessons
Yeah.
and you've no idea what you're doing, and your friend who works for Science says, oh, I actually don't have to do any of that, it's all laid
That's
out
actually
for
done.
me, then that is a huge consideration.
It is very much so.
And when we say that the sign lessons are all there for you, it doesn't mean that you're a robot.
100%. That's a really important distinction.
You still put your personality into that lesson. And I've seen sign lessons done by a huge variety of teachers in a huge variety of ways and be equally successful. There's
Yes.
no one way to teach a sign lesson. So the idea that just because there's a lesson laid out there, you have to, no, it's not like that.
No.
Can put their personality into
And please do. We
Yeah.
encourage them to, because having your personality and putting yourself into the lesson is how you build rapport with the students. And
Yeah.
that's the most important factor for any kind of classroom management, any kind of learning, is that student-teacher relationship. Yes, okay, we provide the lessons, the lesson plans, the teacher notes, the PowerPoints, all of that's provided. But yes, it doesn't mean that you're then standing in front of the classroom, speaking into a microphone like a robot. You are free from having to create those
Yeah.
resources and able to really focus on how you are as a teacher and your class themselves without having to think, I've got to create 100 lessons, I have to write this, I have to do that piece of admin, that grade submission. You can not worry about that creation and actually just focus on growing yourself as a teacher.
We were talking about support, and one way to think about support are the teams that we have in place. So we've got the coordinator team who are supporting the teachers in the school, but then you've got the Thai operations team.
Yes.
So that's one person visiting your school every week to check everything's okay. You've got a Western program manager every week visiting your school to check everything's going well. We've got an IT team.
Yeah.
So we have to maintain all the equipment, the teaching equipment. We make sure you've got high-speed internet in the school. We've got a dedicated visa and administration team, FTA team.
Yeah.
Now, one
Fantastic.
of people's biggest concerns when they come to Thailand is, what about the visa?
Yeah.
How do I do that? We've got the best visa team in Thailand.
We absolutely have.
Provided you listen to and follow their instructions, and I'll say that again, listen to and follow their instructions, then everything will go through as we
Oh, absolutely.
expect.
Yeah.
So that is so important. All these teams are working together to try and make your life as smooth and give you as much opportunity to succeed in the role as a teacher.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. It's because, we want people to succeed. We want people to have a good experience and to stay with Sine. It's not about kind of just a teacher mill, for want of a better way to put it. It's not the idea here. It is, we want you to come and have such a good experience that you want to stay, that you love, working with your students. You build connections with them. You like your team. You like the support. You like the management team and your coordinator, your assistant program manager, your FTA representative. You feel like part of a family and therefore you want to stay. Yeah, a much more human approach with us here. Okay, that's a wrap on our first episode of the Teach in Thailand podcast here with Sine Education. Thank you very much for joining me today, Nick. I appreciate it.
Thank you, Fox.
If you want to find out more about how teaching in Thailand could become your reality, then visit our website, sineeducation.com, for more information and to view our job board. And please follow us on all social medias. You can DM us with questions any time of the day and we will answer you as best we can. Don't forget, follow along for more episodes just like this.